Have you ever been caught talking to yourself in an empty room only to feel a sudden rush of embarrassment when you realized someone was watching? Or perhaps you've been called antisocial because you'd rather take a long walk alone than attend a crowded party? In a world that prizes normalcy, these behaviors are often labeled as weird, eccentric, or even signs of a scattered mind. But what if I told you that the very things people judge you for are actually the system logs of a high-performance brain? Psychology suggests that some of the strangest habits aren't flaws at all. They are the secondary effects of an extremely high IQ. Your brain isn't broken, it's just operating on a frequency most people can't tune into. Today, we're decoding the 6 weird habits that prove your mind is working at a level others rarely notice. If you recognize yourself in these, it's time to stop apologizing for being different.
Habit 1. The internal dialogue made external. Let's start with the one that gets the most stares, talking to yourself. In social settings, this is often seen as a sign of instability. However, in the world of cognitive psychology, it's known as verbal reasoning. Highly intelligent individuals often externalize their thought process to organize complex ideas. When you speak your thoughts aloud, you aren't just talking, you're creating a secondary feedback loop. This process helps your brain categorize information, identify logical gaps, and solve problems significantly faster than those who keep everything internal. It's essentially like adding an extra monitor to your computer. It provides the visual and auditory real estate needed to process high-level data. So, the next time someone catches you debating a solution with yourself, remember, you're not losing your mind, you're optimizing it.
Habit 2. The burden of logical overthinking. Have you ever been called indecisive because you took too long to make a simple choice? To an outsider, you look stuck. To a high IQ mind, you are performing a predictive simulation. This is what psychologists call cognitive complexity. While others see a straight line from point A to point B, your brain sees a 3D map of potential consequences, risks, and butterfly effects. You aren't overthinking because you're anxious, you're overthinking because your brain naturally processes details that others are literally blind to. This analytical depth ensures that when you finally do make a move, it's the most efficient one possible. High intelligence isn't about moving fast, it's about moving right. Habit 3. The solitary wanderer. There's a long history of the world's greatest thinkers, from philosophers to modern tech innovators, insisting on long, solitary walks. If you find yourself craving a stroll without music, without podcasts, and without company, there's a biological reason for it. Walking alone activates the brain's default mode network. This is the state where your mind begins to connect seemingly unrelated dots. When the noise of social interaction is removed, your creativity spikes. Highly intelligent people often feel crowded by the presence of others when they are in a deep thinking state. For you, a walk isn't just exercise, it's a necessary tactical retreat into your own consciousness to allow your best ideas to surface. Habit 4. Selective organization, the messy desk theory. Society loves to tell us that a clean desk equals a clean mind, but psychology suggests a different reality for the highly intelligent. Selective organization. If you have a desk covered in papers, or a room that looks like a whirlwind hit it, yet your digital files are perfectly categorized, or your work systems are flawless, you're displaying a hallmark of mental efficiency. A high IQ mind ignores the static. You don't have the attentional budget to worry about a coffee stain or a stack of mail because your mental energy is entirely focused on a complex project or a grand idea. You aren't messy, you're prioritizing. You organize what matters and ignore what doesn't. Habit 5. The dopamine-driven deep dive. Do you ever find yourself staying up until 3 a.m. researching something completely random like the history of irrigation systems or the physics of black holes, only to lose interest a week later? This habit is often mistaken for a lack of focus. In reality, it's a sign of an intense curiosity system. High IQ individuals have brains that are addicted to the dopamine reward of learning. When you encounter a new complex topic, your brain demands to understand it. Once the logic is decoded and the puzzle is solved, the dopamine drops and you move on to the next challenge. This random knowledge base eventually turns you into a polymath, someone who can draw connections across different industries and disciplines that no one else sees coming.
Habit 6. The small talk fatigue. Finally, we have to talk about the social drain. If you find small talk, conversations about the weather, celebrity gossip, or mundane daily routines physically exhausting, you aren't being rude. You're experiencing cognitive understimulation. A high IQ brain seeks depth. It wants to discuss the why, not the what. Surface level chatter feels like a waste of precious mental processing power. This is why you might stay quiet in large groups, only to become the most talkative person in the room the moment a complex or meaningful topic is raised. You aren't shy, you're just waiting for a conversation worth your energy. If you've spent your life feeling like a glitch in the system because of these habits, it's time to change your perspective. These weird behaviors are the natural byproducts of a mind that refuses to settle for the surface level of life. Being highly intelligent isn't always about high grades or prestigious titles. Often, it's about how you navigate the quiet moments of your day. You aren't strange, you're just operating on a different level.